Welcome to this episode of the Gunman. In this video we'll be taking you through the paintwork on this Honda Odyssey, painted in crystal black, and the paint code for this car is NH731P. Quite a nice colour. It's just got a little bit of pearl in there and it looks nice in the sun. So we'll start off with the spray painting, and later on we end up actually getting some fish eyes or silicone holes in the 2K clear, and I'll be taking you through the method to remove them without actually having to repaint the panel again. So we'll start off, and we've already wiped the entire job down with wax and grease remover. Wiped it on and then wiped it off, and now I'm using the tack rag to get rid of any lint or dust that may be left behind. So first coat of Basecoat colour. You can see it covers up really extremely well for these blacks. First coat, it basically looks covered, but we always put two on just to be sure it's going to be covered when it's out in the sun. And just going around the edges on the bumper bar first. It's going on just medium wet. You don't want to put it on too heavy, or you can actually have fish eyes sometimes come up in the base coat, which it didn't end up happening. Now I'm pretty sure I know the exact reason why these fish eyes came on to this job. It's partly my own fault, because what happened is we've actually got a preparation guy in the workshop. He prepares our jobs for us, and what he ended up doing to the fender was spraying acrylic or 1K clear all over the fender. It didn't need it. He had overspray all over my blend area, so there was the primer all over where I needed to only just clear coat instead of put the colour. And to get rid of that, I got some thinners on a rag. It was just gum wash thinners, and I washed it all off. Sometimes the gum wash thinners, because it's all been recycled, we're using recycled thinners, and sometimes it can be used from printers, and the solvents in there can have a little bit of oil in there sometimes. So I think that's actually the reason that these wax holes actually came in the first place. But yeah, look, next time if I do it, I'd probably use some proper 2K thinner. It's a bit more expensive, but yeah, look, that's what this job's about. You got to learn from your mistakes, I guess, and make sure you try to do your best to stop it for the next time. And I've been doing this job for quite a long time, 15 years nearly, and yeah, still problems arise, but it's the experience that tells me that I know how to fix these problems when they do come up without having to repaint. So now we're going on with our clear coat, and I'm just using some Duxone 2K clear. It's an MS clear, 2 full coat system, and I don't add any reducer to it either. So as you saw there, I'm using the DeVilbiss GTI Pro Lite 1.3mm setup and the TE20 Air Cap on it. Bit of a favourite of mine, this gun. I do recommend it to lots of new guys in the trade. I find it quite easy to use. It's good for beginners too. Easy to set up, and they're not overly expensive either. Of the good guns, they are the best price, I'd say. You can get them from around the $430 to $500 mark, Australian dollars. So the settings I'm using on this gun here is have the fan wound right open, 25 psi. As you can see, just about 1 fist width away from the panel when you're moving, and set the fluid to about 3 turns out. So you wind the fluid needle, the fluid gauge at the back right in, then come out 2.5 to 3 turns. And if it's extremely hot, you might want to even come out 4 turns or something like that, but you just got to see how it's going on. You want to get the paint on quicker when it's hotter, so you want more fluid to come out so it's not going to dry. So once we've got our first coat on, we'll just leave it for 5 minutes and then come back and apply our second coat. If you're using sometimes HS or VOC clears, you can do just 30-70 is what they call it, where you just put one coat on and then straight away you put your next coat on. But not with MS clears. You're better off giving it flash off time as to get better build up. You won't be left with enough paint on there if you try and do the 2 coat 2 quick coat system. So up the back section of that guard where it comes up to the A pillar or the windscreen pillar there is where we ended up getting the silicone holes or the wax holes or fish eyes. They're called, loads of different names for them. As you see, most of the job came up well. There was a couple of pinholes that were missed in this bumper bar as well, so I dabbed a bit of clear in them as well. But if you have a look at here, you see that it's full, just that one section mainly, it's just totally full of the little wax holes and fish eyes. So now the best way to get rid of it in the clear now, we're going to give that even over 5 minutes, just give it like 6 or 7 minutes even, and then we just go in with that dust coat now. So it's just hold the gun right back, and that's going to hopefully make the paint stick to the low of the fisheye. And now, as you see, just smash it on. So we're trying to get some build up now. Being that we've left it for a good amount of time, we can go on with another heavy coat. This is going to give us something to cut into later on when we go to polish it. Yeah, so we've got a nice 3 coats on there. It's given us a nice amount of build up. Just be careful, obviously you don't go too much, and then you'll end up with wax holes, fish eyes and runs. So you just end up with a mess. So you can see it's already an improvement from before. It's already definitely better than what it was before that 3rd coat. But what I've decided to do next is I'm not going to touch that yet. I'm just going to bake it out. I gave it probably even a little bit more than 45 minutes. Might have been, I think, about 50 minutes I gave it. Just because we've got that extra coat on, and that's at 60 degrees in the spray booth. Sometimes I've tried doing a touch-up straight over your fresh clear, but it can end up making a bit of a mess and turning into a big blob on there. So I found you're better off just putting this rocket additive into the last of your clear, just a touch of that, so it'll speed the drying process up in your clear, that rocket. And now we're going to just get a extremely clean touch-up brush. Make sure it is clean. I've seen, and I've even done it myself, like try and do a touch-up with a touch-up brush that's not being cleaned with fresh clean thinners, and it'll just end up smearing the last colour over the panel that you're trying to touch up. So just careful with the amount that you get on your brush, obviously, as well. That's why I'm wiping a little bit of it off there. And just try and contain that touch-up just to the low spot, because the more you put on, then the more you've got to sand out when we're out the back. So just giving it a very nice fine touch-up. And I was actually hoping to polish this car myself just for the sake of making the video, but at the workshop that I work at, I'm sort of the main painter here, and they try to keep me in the paint shop painting cars because I'm more valuable spraying cars than what I am polishing, because polishing is something that you can pick up quite easy, whereas spray painting is a bit more of an art to it. So yeah, I missed out on the polishing stage, but all we did, if it's been left overnight, you could use the tungsten block and shave the high spots down, and then use your wet rubbing block and some, I'll probably even start off with some 1200. You wouldn't want to go much coarser than that. So 1200, and then you go down through your grades down to 2000, and then you could also use the 3000 grit over the top of your 2000 just to enable it to polish up a bit quicker. So just taking my time and making sure those touch-ups are really nice. As I said, most of them have ended up, most of the worst of it did fill up. There was just a couple that was still quite deep. So this method saves us from having to repaint it. The only real downside is that you're going to be left with a bit of a flat spot there because you're cutting out the orange peel, but I'll show you the car at the end when it's finished off, and it came up quite well. I'd be happy if it was my car, put it that way. So another little one down the bottom there. Here's the car when it's all done. Nice Honda Odyssey. I like these cars. My brother's got one of these. If I had a family, I reckon I'd buy one of these cars. So you can see there, it's all nice and flat, and no more wax holes left in it. So check out these links if you haven't already seen them. A couple of my favourites there. There's a good one there for beginners on the right. Thanks again for watching, and this has been another Gunman production. Goodbye.